What is your deal?
We can't help you, man, if you don't tell us. You don't get it. I don't want your help. I don't need your help. All I want is for all of this to end.
Opinion-Ville?
All of this. Everything. This sham of a universe. Everything. I will be happy when existence itself is utterly destroyed for all eternity. Now, do you want to help me do that? No. I didn't think so. Gary, get Professor Dunderhead on the phone. Thanks for getting here so quickly, Professor.
Oh, I'm always ready when there's a science mystery to be solved. I'm like a coiled snake of science, ready to strike at the mystery mice that happen into my path. I use my fangs of inquiry to inject my venom of truth into them, and then swallow them whole.
Your assistant said you were relaxing in your hot tub of science.
Indeed, even coiled snakes of science enjoy a good soak. I'm surprised you believed us. Yeah, I mean, we basically told you that the acting mayor showed up, magically removed Fundy Monster's face, and then kind of warped out of the garage. Well, my initial reaction to your story was that you had lost your collective little minds, or that you had begun experimenting with perception-altering drugs. But considering the things we've been through over the years, I decided I would be a fool to ignore you.
Have you detected anything?
Oh yes, plenty, but nothing that really makes sense. I must collect more data.
How much longer is this gonna take?
That is difficult to calculate.
I don't care how difficult it is, just get a move on. I gotta go to the little monster's room.
Settle down. The professor said you need to stay in that science coffin because you had the most interaction with the acting mayor.
Interaction? He ripped my face off and stuck one of my eyes on top of my head.
Hence the reason for the isolation pod. You are providing some fascinating readings.
Yay me. In the meantime, I gotta file some papers, if you know what I mean.
If you need to expel some bodily waste, simply use the waste sluice at the bottom of the pod.
No.
Is there anything we can do to help, Professor? Can any of you reroute the submolecular transponder so that they will transmit a low-band quasi-temporal waveform? I don't even know what you said. Then no. The three of you just sit still and try not to touch anything. Can we leave? I told Autumnal I'd be home in time for our pre-sex yoga routine. No, I can't have you leaving this garage and potentially contaminating the rest of the town with radiation.
Radiation?
Radiation or whatever energy the acting mayor used to do the things he did to you.
So we just sit here with our thumbs up our butts?
The insertion of your thumb into your anal cavity is completely optional. However, if it interferes with my readings, I will need to ask you to desist.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do?
We could play 20 questions. Okay, I'm thinking about something. Go.
Is your conspiracy theory that the TV show Saved by the Bell was actually performed by shaved gibbons from a Soviet-era gulag?
You got lucky. Okay, your turn.
No thanks, I'm not 7 and trapped in a car with my grandparents. There's gotta be something else we can do.
Can I practice next week's sermon? It's real good. It's about how if you like any form of popular entertainment, you're gonna go to hell.
Pass.
Well, we could just talk to each other.
Snore, we do that all the time, and it always ends the same way, with me winning the argument and Jason crying like a little baby.
Can Fundy stay in that isolation pod forever, Professor?
Oh, certainly. The isopod is meant to keep an individual alive for 40 or 50 years, independent of a power source.
Don't get any crazy ideas just because you're bored.
There's gotta be something. Come on, Dunderhead, you're the brilliant scientist. What can we do to pass the time? I find when I have nothing to do that doing some simple math problems in my head makes the time fly by. Why, last week during a lengthy toilet interval, I solved the Birch-Swinnerton-Dyer conjecture.
We are all pretty stupid when it comes to numbers.
Well, then just sit there and think of boobs or fornication or whatever it is you simpletons think about. I'm sure your tiny craniums will come up with some sort of juvenilia to pass the time. So, this is the boring part of science. Waiting around for stuff. Boring? Not at all. This is the best part. The anticipation. when science walks into your bedroom laboratory and slowly slips off her silk nightie of research to reveal the delights of discovery. Professor, your metaphors have been a little sexually charged today. If you don't mind my asking, when was the last time you had sex? I experience an orgasm on almost a daily basis.
With a person, or is this another science metaphor?
With a person of sorts. Of sorts? Oh no, he's having sex with the lab monkeys! The rumors are true! Please tell me that they're at least monkey-human hybrids! Don't be absurd. The last of the monkey-human hybrids moved out of the labs after he won that seat in the U.S. Senate. And we haven't had any other lab animals at Dunder Labs for years. Not since the rabbit incident. Rabbit incident? What rabbit incident?
No, go back to the person of sorts thing. If he isn't bashing fuzzies with a humanzee, then what is he poinking? Is he having sex with a robot?
Well, lucky for you, the two events are related. You see, I was attempting to create a breed of rabbit that would grow sacks of meat out of its back. Much like a fruit tree would produce fruit, the meat would just drop off its back and then could be harvested for human consumption without killing the animal. The meat would be cruelty-free and solve world hunger. So you wanted to create a monster rabbit with meat sacks growing out of it? Please tell me you were unsuccessful. Well, more or less. We did manage to produce a rabbit that would grow large planks of meat out of its back, but when the meat would fall off the rabbit, it would grow legs and mouths and attempt to eat us. Then what happened?
Haven't you been paying attention? He said the stories were related. He's having sex with one of them meat sacks. You are one gross little science jockey, Professor.
I will ignore the implication you just leveled at my character, and I would remind you that I currently control the level of oxygen to your isolation pod.
I'll be good.
The bioengineer I was working with on the meat rabbit was a brilliant woman named Gorga Bloodstone.
Gorga Bloodstone? Was she an obese vampire?
I don't have to let you out of there. Gorga Bloodstone was a devastatingly brilliant scientist, and she had a figure that would make Alan Turing become half aroused. We fell in love, but alas, it was not meant to be. She had research to pursue in the Antarctic. Oh, I'm sorry, Professor. Oh, all is not lost. Gorga and I still commingle thanks to the miracle of digital communications.
So when you say you have sex with a person, you actually mean you're jerking it on Skype.
Not at all. Gorga and I experience physical pleasure via our carnality drones. Okay, now you have my attention. Go on. Carnality drones function along the same lines as remote piloting an aircraft. We both put on jumpsuits and virtual reality gear, which sends signals via the internet to a robot, which then moves and responds the way we move and respond. So while you're here moving around in a suit, in the Antarctic your girlfriend is having sex with a robot that's mimicking your movements? Indeed, and vice versa, and thanks to virtual reality goggles, we see each other.
Hold the frickin' door, Irene. You're having sex with a remote-controlled robot?
Sounds a little cold to me. Cold? Not my sexbot. It has a lightweight aluminum chassis and is covered with my patented Dun skin. An artificial skin that is warm to the touch and looks and tastes just like the real thing.
Guys, I just pictured Professor Dunderhead having sex with a garbage can covered in skin.
The robot avatar of my long-distance paramour is quite lifelike. Still, it seems kind of masturbatey. There's nothing wrong with masturbation.
Yes, there is. God don't like it.
Religious prudishness aside, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, but is it really masturbation? I mean, sure, technically the professor is having his chicken spanked by a robot, but that robot is being controlled by another person.
But it's not a person, which makes it masturbation, which makes it a sin with a capital S sound.
But the other robot is moving because it's being controlled by a person. It's not the same. If they were on Skype having Skype sex, you wouldn't call that masturbation, would you?
No, I would call that sad. Look, bozos, sex with machinery is masturbation even if it's being controlled by somebody who isn't there. It's bad, and God don't like it.
Here's something I never cared to ask. Why?
Why what?
Why doesn't God like masturbation? You know as well as I do he doesn't like any kind of sex other than sex that is to produce a baby.
Except hot gay sex. The First Monstarian Church is very clear about that.
But gay sex can't produce a baby.
True, but God likes it because it's glorious and because he told me. In a dream. And he only likes it when it's between married couples. It's a marriage-only kind of thing. Gays can get married, so now God likes it.
According to the Bible?
Yeah.
Where in the Bible?
It doesn't say it explicitly, it just kind of does that Bible thing where it could mean one thing, but it actually means another thing.
Just like everything else in the Bible. So let me guess, there's like 2 or 3 lines in that doorstop of a book that might indicate that sex outside of marriage is bad.
No, more like 3 lines.
What about robots?
I don't think God has anything in the Bible about gay robots, Gary.
Not gay robots. If Professor Dunderhead was having sex with a robot, one that wasn't being controlled by a person, would that be masturbation? That would depend on the robot. If the robot was sentient like Data, then no. But if it was dumb, like one of those robot arms that makes cars, then yes.
You said that with a lot of authority, Jason.
Well, yeah, I mean, who hasn't daydreamed of a sex bot? I haven't. Or me. Come on, Gary, you haven't? I already sleep with the entire spectrum of gender identities. I don't need to add artificial intelligences too. My plate is full, dude. So, since the robot that Dunderhead is having sex with is controlled by a sentient person, then it can't be masturbation.
What if the robot is just a really good simulation of a person, but not actually sentiment?
Sentient.
Whatever. What if the simulation is so good that you couldn't tell? You could be masturbating and not know it.
What if it was sentient, but it didn't look like a person, but more like a laptop with a fleshlight glued to it?
It's still wrong. Look, you degenerates, having sex with robots or remote control sex toys is wrong. In order for it to be okay with the man upstairs, it's gotta have a soul.
So if somebody super hot, like Erin Gray, transferred her consciousness into a sex bot, it would be okay? Who's Erin Gray? She was Captain Wilma Deering on Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. I've had a crush on her since I was 11.
Wait, we can do that? Can we transfer our souls into robots now? When did we learn to do that? And should I be against it on a religious level? I'm pretty sure I should.
It's a thought experiment. Everything we've talked about is. Well, except for Professor Dunderhead's remote Wi-Fi sex life.
Then what's the point of even bringing all this crap up?
'Cause it's interesting and fun.
Oh, it's not. It's stupid, gross, and pointless. Here I was getting worked up about a bunch of phony baloney crap.
All right, gentlemen, I hope you're finished with your lengthy theoretical discussions about my sex life, because the readings are in and I have formed a theory. Yay, we just gotta do one thing, Professor. What do you guys think? What would your sex bot be if you could have one?
And if you think it's wrong to have sex with something that walks and talks and runs on batteries, why do you feel that way?
And if and when people start dating machines, what kind of stigmas and prejudices do you think they'll face? And do you agree with me that Erin Gray is still hot? I know she's 67, but I would totally dress up like Tiger Man for her. Comment down in the spank bank. Gentlemen, I have analyzed the energy signature that the acting mayor left behind, and I believe he didn't generate it. That in fact, it seems to be coming from another reality. By other reality, do you mean another dimension? Another Earth? Indeed. In fact, I believe it was this energy that forced the acting mayor to leave before destroying you.
Wait, another reality? There is no other reality.
Quite the contrary, actually. If these readings are correct, and they are because I took them, then it would appear that the theory of the universal wave function is correct. The stupid version, please. The many worlds theory. The interpretation of quantum mechanics that asserts the objective reality of the universal wave function and denies the actuality of wave function collapse. Many worlds implies that all possible alternate histories and futures are real, each representing an actual world or universe. We asked for the stupider version. The existence of other dimensions. So, in the other universes, every possible difference is played out? Like, there's a universe where the only difference is that I had a peanut butter sandwich instead of a salami sandwich 5 days ago? Yes, but even more significantly, the change could be as little as the movement of a single proton, and considering that these universes are infinite, the differences could be quite profound. So, could there be a universe where the Star Trek universe exists? Yes, in fact, an infinite number of them, each different from one another to varying degrees.
Yay again. And?
Well, I have concentrated the signal and then fed it into this tricorder so that we may catch a glimpse of another reality. Exciting stuff, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm all a quiver. Can I get out now? I really need to go poo-poo.
Shut it, Fundy. Don't you realize what he's saying? We're gonna see another reality.
Big whoop, it's just another one of them thought experiments.
No, you goober, this is a real experiment. Oh, I hope the other dimension is super cool.
Hey, what if the other dimension is awful? Like, what if in that dimension, the Nazis won World War II?
What if they never invented the reverse cowgirl?
What if in another dimension, God is a woman? Let's not look.
Good or bad, this is the path that science has laid before us. Do not shrink from discovery, gentlemen.
Ah, you're right. What's the worst we could see?
A world of nothing but fundy monsters.
Oh, you mean paradise?
All right, you morons, quiet. I'm getting a picture.
Oh, hey, you bunch of jerks. I'm back, doing this garbage again on account of the meat man has got a case of the evils. So let's get right to it, shall we? Today is Saturday, May 27th, 2017, and it's Amateur Radio Military Appreciation Day, Cellophane Tape Day, International Heritage Breeds Day, Julia Pierpont Day, and Ramadan. Famous dead people celebrating their birthdays today, Cowboy showman Wild Bill Hickok, and such a badass he's probably not dead, actor, musician, assassin, and spy, Christopher Lee. And now on to your jerks' questions. First up, my lovely Dame 21 asks, intimate question for imaginary Gary. How are you and Jesus Mary Magdalene Carpenter doing? Are you two an official thing yet? You guys make a cute couple.
Thanks, my lovely dame. We're doing fine, I guess. Truth be told, Jesus/Mary, which is now their official name, is moving way faster than me. They've drawn up this 5-year plan for our relationship, with it ending in marriage. And I haven't even countered with my 3-day plan that ends in a 4-way. Don't get me wrong, I really like Jesus/Mary. But I still have acres and acres and acres and acres of wild oats to sow.
Dueling Shade asks, intimate question for Raoul. Do you have any stories about Fundy from his armless days? He never seems to want to talk about it. It's almost as if he has a terrible secret he's desperately trying to keep. It's not that he has a terrible secret. He is just embarrassed. All those years of having to eat with his feet, type with his feet, tie his shoes with his feet. Don't ask me how he does that. It's just that he does do that, and it's amazing to watch. Don't rest your head, ass. Question for Meet Jason. Have you considered introducing Oswald to some lovely friendly spiders who just want to cuddle? I sent your question to the Meat Man's email asking if he would show up and do this segment, and he wrote back that he'd rather eat the rancid bunghole out of a narwhal. And he kind of liked the spider idea. Frankenstein077 asks, intimate question for Fundy Monster. After the events of the last episode, have you noticed any unusual movement of your facial features? Like having an eye slowly slide down your face, or having your nose rotate to one side or the other? Also, are you aware without facial features you kind of resemble an erect penis? Well, my erect penis at any rate. Or at least I think you do. I haven't seen my erect penis in a long time.
Oh boy, there's a lot to unpack there, Frankenstein. What should I tackle first? Well, no, my facial features are as solid as rock, thank you. Now in regards to the way I look like your wanger. Thanks? I mean, I'm gay, so I like the look of a good wanger. Of course, I'm assuming that you're human and not a monster like me. So, what would normally be skin-colored is purple? Is that a healthy color for a human wanger? Should I pray to the Lord above to save your wanger from whatever disease it's got?
Meerkat asks, intimate question for AJ. Now that the Meat Man has come out as evil, do you think that he's really an alien in disguise, trying to turn you against each other?
We got another alien theory, Mabel! Put Meerkat down for alien! I have my own theory as to what his whole deal is. And I'm keeping it to myself. See, Vermont started a pool, and whoever guesses right wins the pot. So far we have that he's an alien, a clone, being mind-controlled, and Oswald thinks it's because he's angry about his haircut.
Alright, that's enough of that nonsense. Remember, if you have a question you want to ask Intimate Questions, leave it down below in the comments section. Until next time, you bunch of jerks, this has been Vermont. No cute catchphrase. I said die, name frame.
Oh, right, sorry. What's wrong, Oswald?
My bestest friend in the whole world has got evil all up in his butt.
You mean the acting mayor Jason with a D?
Yeah.
I thought I was your best friend in the whole world.
You are, and so is he. You are like best friend twins.
And what about Puppet Jason? Don't you sometimes call him your bestest friend?
Okay, then bestest friend triplets.
That's a lot of bestest friends, Oswald.
I got lots of hugs and friendships to go around.
Well, I bet shouting out some Patreon patrons will cheer you up.
Boy, will it ever. You know what, Namie?
What?
You wanna know why it'll cheer me up?
Why?
Come on, guess.
'Cause they're your bestest friends?
Yup.
Nimrod Evans!
Hey, Namie, what does Nimrod mean?
Well, originally it meant like great hunter. Now not so much.
What's it mean now? Super cool dude?
No, it means someone who's inept. You know, like a dork or a dweeb.
Jeez, name frame, I didn't realize you had such a low opinion of my bestest friend, Nimrod Jones.
His name is Nimrod Evans.
Whatever, we're still besties.
Rudy Valvano!
Hey, name frame, is Rudy's last name, underwear's lady part name?
I don't think so.
'Cause it kinda sounds like it is.
I'm pretty sure it isn't.
Maybe it's Italian for a girl's underpart part.
Do you mean a part of a pair of girls' underwear? Or her private business area?
I don't even know anymore.
John W!
Oh no, Namie. John W. is so poor he can only afford one letter for his last name.
I think that's just his initial, Oswald.
No, it's not. He is so poor that he's only got one letter for his last name. He probably sold the other letters. For drugs.
I don't think he's poor or on drugs.
He probably sold his middle name too. You guys to be less stupid sometimes, name frame. People are all the time selling the letters out of their names so that they can get some of them drugs.
That's impossible. Who are they selling the letters to?
The companies that make alphabet soup. They need those letters.
Those letters are made out of pasta.
Yeah, they are. Don't you ever meet somebody whose name was like super short? They probably was eating handfuls of crack and sold their names away.
Uh-huh.
That's why Cher only has a first name. Handfuls of crack. Just eating them like they're walnuts.
Makes sense.
It sure does.
So, Trudeau here with even more of your suggestions. Waylon Volnder says, since it's clear Meat Jason is fighting some sort of supernatural force that can actively harm it, why not try and identify it or contact it somehow? Sure, it could be Lovecraftian, but you need to do something, and it seems this struggle requires you a lot to pick between the devil you know and the ambiguously moral entity you don't. At least try and gather information on this struggle and plan for joining the other side. I'm not much of a joiner, Waylon, but if I had to decide, I will always go with the side that has fewer tentacles. If a side has tentacles, it's pretty much a given it's awful. Remember, kids, tentacles equal evil. What, Mabel, you don't think tentacles equal evil? Name one group that has tentacles that's good. You can't. Super Troy 1974 says, stop being so goddamn awesome. I can't help it. I've tried. Truly, I have. I've been rude to people. I litter. One time I chewed tobacco and just spit tobacco juice all over the place. But 10 minutes later, boom, I'm awesome again. It's a frickin' curse. What are you snickering at, Mabel? Jeb Bush Jr. says, intimate question for Trudeau. How does the PU glitch in Super Mario 64 work? Oh, we'll get to the PU glitch in a moment, Jeb, but why is there an intimate question in the suggestions, Mabel? Oh, we only got 2 suggestions. Well, I guess that makes sense, that they would take a question from me and put it here in what is apparently the ass end of the show. No, I won't calm down. The intimate question segment is always overflowing with questions about stuff, but nothing for good old Trudeau. I don't care about the parallel dimension glitch in Super Mario. I care about getting suggestions before they decide to cancel this segment and replace me with another segment about Oswald in it. Oh, I bet they'd love it if Oswald was doing it. They'd call it Oswald Suggestions. I bet the fans would break their keyboards trying to get suggestions of that hyperactive little blue moron. Yes, I said it! I'm not unsaying it! Hey everybody, it's me, Oswald. And now that my bestest friend Jason is all crazy with the bad guy stuff, I guess I'm here all by myself from here on out forever. Don't worry, Oswald, I'm here now. My bestest friend Jason! I figured you couldn't just do this by yourself, now that the Actimator's all evil. And me and you are friends, and me and you used to do shoutouts together. So, I'm gonna be here to keep you company. Hey, remember when we used to do the shouty powdies together, and you would say something, and then I would say something, and then you would get angry? Yeah, I remember that. Remember the time that I told everybody that you took a poop in your pants? Yeah, I remember that too. Remember the time that I said something and you got all embarrassed and then your girlfriend said that she was gonna break up with you because she now knew something about your past? Yeah, I remember that. How is your girlfriend anyways? We broke up, Oswald. Oh, what does that mean? It means we're not together anymore. What does that mean? It means we're not together. I don't understand what that means. Okay, we used to be a couple. Right, because you were in love. Right, and now we're not a couple anymore. She left me because she's not in love with me anymore. She's not in love with you anymore? No. Why isn't she in love with you anymore? I don't know. Did she catch you picking your nose? You know you're all the time picking your nose. No, Oswald, no. Did she find out about the time that you put ketchup in your jockstrap and you wore it around and you said, hey, look at me, I cut my penis off and all this is blood. You remember that? I don't even know if I did that. You were pretty drunk. Hey, did she find out about the time that you saw this really pretty lady on the school bus and it turned out that she was somebody's mom and it turned out that she was married to someone and you were all like, hey, you know, I'm in an open relationship, and she was like, I know for a fact you're not, and then she punched you? Did she find out about that time? I had forgotten what it's like to do this stuff with you. I know, it's great, isn't it?